Yeah, it is kind of like that. Yeah.
All right, so after Druid, moving right on to Hunter here, we got Bunch of Bananas. 1 mana, give a minion +1/+1, 3 bananas left. So this is a spell you can cast 3 times. Start with 3 bananas, then you have 2 left, then the last one, you're done.
So I was thinking, like, let's compare this to Doggy Biscuit. Doggy Biscuit seems better, but Doggy Biscuits also seem to play like every Hunter deck that runs a 1-drop. But it's just like, I don't feel like Hunter has the kind of synergies to like this kind of card.
I would actually compare this to Serpent Wig.
Serpent Wig was bad when it was +1/+1.
Yeah, but Serpent Wig required you play Nagas to get it back. This just comes with 3 loaded charges.
Serpent Wig also was only running decks with Radiant Elemental.
Also true. Then there are some spell synergies for Hunter, of course.
Yeah.
I like the Bunch of Bananas. I think it's nice and flexible. It's not blow your socks off great, but I think the synergy is nice. The flexibility is nice. I think it can compare decently well to Doggy Biscuit.
So I'll play this against you, and then you'll play 80 cards and put 2 20/20s on the board, and then I'll be like, this card sucks. So, you know.
Maybe. Or you stick a 1-drop, you turn
you get it on Trog. You get it on Trog, yeah. Buffing
Trog rotates.
Oh, Trog rotates. Oh, so you can't even
Trog
put it on
rotates.
Trog. Okay.
I just like it because it's a lot of stuff in one card, and it's nice and flexible. A bunch of stuff.
It is flexible. It is flexible. All right, I'll give it a 2. You talked me up to a 2, so.
I'm even going to go for a 3 on this. It might end up being a more important card in Hunter than is initially appreciated. We'll see. Next up, we got Thornmantle Musician. 1 mana, 1/3 Quillbore. Finale. The next beast you summon gets +1/+1. And that is summon, not play, so Wild Seeds.
Oh, okay. Yes. That seems good. Like, you just play this on 1. I mean, 1/3 play, and it's kind of a 2/4 effectively. So, yeah. And you can use it to, like, are there some beasts that, like, you want to protect? You know, I'm trying to think. Like,
beasts you want to protect.
Like, I'm trying to think of something that if it's above some health break point, it's really hard to remove and it's really annoying. That kind of thing.
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's 3 or 4. Should we give it Should we give it? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it seems. Yeah.
A 3 seems about right for me. And I would say 4, a 3 for 2 reasons.
4 should be game breaking, yeah. So
because it does have 2 conditions on it: finale and summon beast.
Yeah,
so that means that it's not always useful. Yeah, but on early in the game, it's just real good.
Yeah. All right, I'll give it 3. So
all right, cool. Great Doggy Biscuit target. Next up, we got Arrowsmith. The pun on Aerosmith. In case you missed that.
I get it.
Yep. 2 mana, 2/3 Naga. After you cast a spell, deal 1 damage to the lowest health enemy. And go face.
This seems just like worse than the 2/3 for Frost Death Knight in a class that can't afford this. Like,
it is worse than Death Chiller, admittedly. Though Death Chiller did come with the double Frost Rune requirement. So this works really well with Bunch of Bananas.
I mean, does
it? If you get this thing to stick, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure sticking a 2/3 and the world of Serrated Bone Spikes and Plague Strikes, and trying to think of every deck has a deal 3. Just like
possibly. You could also play it on 3 and then buff it immediately. What this card most reminds me of is Kolkar Pack Runner,
which was developing, so it had board synergies. It was, you could target on anything, so it could do the lowest health, or it could go with something else.
Couldn't always go face.
Yeah, I mean,
and this does have that added level of it's a Naga, which activates your Naga synergies. Which I don't know how relevant those are. There's like Barbed Nets and the Naga's Pride that wants you to have played these things. I don't know if there's anything else that comes to mind.
The Naga Pride, the 3 mana that makes that spell that summons the minions. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah.
I want to go. I'm just go 1. I don't believe it. Right. So
I am gonna go 3.
All right.
think this is a pretty cool card. And next up, we got Barrel of Monkeys along the same lines of the bananas. 2 mana, summon a 1/4 monkey with taunt, 3 monkeys left.
So I
you
feel
play
like
this 3 times.
This card's like really good in some kind of decks because the classes historically, but like, is it good in Hunter? Like, does Hunter want to be spending 2 mana summoning a 1/4 taunt? But like maybe if you're like Spell Hunter, like in previous, so I have to say like this deck card would absolutely run in some Spell Hunter lists in the past, right? So
sure. I think it'll be running the Spell Hunter list this patch too.
Oh yeah, I should look at what was the weapon.
The Jungle Jammer weapon also wants you to play a bunch of spells. Barrel of Monkeys, it's nice follow-up from your Soloist.
Yeah. I mean, 1/4 taunt is good enough stats.
And 4/2/5.
All right, I'll give it a 3. So
yeah, I'm also kind of on that 3 train as well. It's a lot of stuff packed into one card, which I really do appreciate. And coming up next, we got Harmonica Soloist.
Well, do you guys see that? Okay, here's the negative. It's summoned Silverback Matriarch that costs 3 mana. It does. So if you get scabbed, then you have to pay 3 mana for the Silverback Patriarchs if it comes back.
But Scabs is out.
Yeah.
No more Scabs. No more Saps, actually.
Okay.
Cute, though.
It was.
So next card, we got Harmonica Soloist. A 3 mana 4/2 with Battlecry. If you control no other minions, discover and cast a secret. And in the core set, they are bringing back Wandering Monster and Cat Trick.
Oh, you get to cast it too. Okay.
Oh yeah, it goes right into play.
So cards like this have seen play. Usually it was the 3 mana 2/4, but that you had to have a secret in play, right, to do that. From Rastakhan Rumble. That was the last time Secret Hunter was really
Challenger.
Good. It's So I mean, if you're a secret deck, you get to discover it. Like, so they also don't know like which ones are in your deck. So it allows for a lot more.
This isn't discover from your deck. This is discover and cast.
Yeah.
And nothing to do with your deck, which is a bonus because you don't have to play secrets if you want to run this.
I think I underestimated this card and seeing it looks actually sounds pretty good.
The big snake here, of course, is the Soloist. You need no other minions, which for a board-based aggressive hunter can be kind of a bummer on turn 3.
But decks that want to have secrets usually are decks that are behind, like hunter decks that are behind on board often. So
the one application I've really been able to piece together for this is maybe in your big beast hunter, where the early minions you're going to play are not terribly impressive.
Yeah,
you got you got your selective breeders. You got maybe the Zombies dude, and I can explain that later. The 2 mana 2/2 that discovers a Zombies. And stuff that's very likely to die. And in that deck doesn't play a ton of early game. The Soloist might actually fit, but even then, I don't know. It's like after turn 3, this card's so hard to get use out of.
I mean, this card, unlike that Demon Hunter card that was like the 5 mana Soloist that you draw 3 cards. This card seems useful in the deck that wants to run it.
This card seems way better.
So, like, it's a card that makes sense to not have minions on board, for the deck that you're running it in. So I think I'll give it a 3. But it might be. I could, still easily be trash. So So
I'm sticking to a 2.
Okay.
But I see there's a world where maybe this card makes its way into a deck for now. I do not like this Soloist condition for the record, but we'll ignore that. All right, so next up, we got Jungle Jammer. 4 mana 4/2 beast. 4 mana 4/2 beast. 4 mana 4/2 weapon. Death Rattle, summon a random 1-cost beast. Cast spells while equipped to improve. So it's a 2-cost beast, then a 3-cost beast, and so on. I've been told the 6 mana slot is particularly nuts for this. So Sidisi did a breakdown of what we get out of this, which is very detailed. The 6 mana slot, I can just go ahead and consult his little chart here, is
Highmane.
Oh, wait, it's up here. The 6 mana slot is Death Beetle, Mukla, Armagadillo, and Highmane.
You can't get colossal minions?
You cannot get colossal minions.
Okay.
5 mana slot's really good too. There's only Sin Runner, the 6/5 Death Rattle, Deadly Shot, and Stranglethorn Tiger.
Yeah.
And apparently there are no 3-cost beasts.
Yeah. What is hard is it's like
There are. Never mind.
you know, if I play this, but I guess I can play a bunch of spells in like one turn, right? So if I have, like, this card seems cool in theory, and it's just like so hard to like make this deck work.
I don't think it's that hard. I mean, at baseline, you're just punching him in the face for 8 and then summoning a thing.
I guess like the spell did like hunter decks usually are winning with burn, but this is board, so it's hard to like create a situation where board is valuable because if that makes sense.
Sort of. And you can just jam this on 4, punch him in the face, turn 5.
Yeah, it uses
Even though it doesn't sound too impressive.
Right? Yeah,
you play two monkeys from your barrel, you banana one of them, you punch them for 4 more, you summon a 4-drop, and you got the rest of that board.
I guess the things that do 2 things at once are good, right? Like things that it's burn for the face or control and developing. So, all right, I'm not convinced on a 4, but I'll give it a 3. So,
I'll join you on that 3. I think that sounds about right. Sure. I like that it does damage. Next up, Big Dreams, 5-mana spell. Summon the highest cost beast from your hand. It goes dormant for 2 turns. Assessing this card obviously requires understanding what large beasts are around.
I don't even know if it does. Like, why? You know, I mean, I know Pet Collector is broken, but like, what world can Hunter spend 5 mana to get something that's going to come in 2 turns that I have to have the beast in my hand, so I lose 2 cards from my hand, right? Like, so.
So you can do Selective Breeder, which will discover extra copies of beasts in your deck, and you can game that pool to only contain 3 beasts, so you always get the thing you want.
Yeah,
so you can get King Crush easy.
Yeah, then I hit him in the face for 8, and then they laugh at me and kill me. So,
and then you also got your Scourge Tamer, the 2-mana 2/2 Battlecry, craft a custom Zombeast. So you can play that on 2, make a really fat Zombeast, and then dormant it out on 5, and maybe that's good when it wakes up. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's a 1. So it's I'm going 1. So Big Dreams. Yeah. That's someone said card is perfectly named because it's like it seems like big dreams that aren't going to go anywhere. So
I'll go with a 2 on this. There might be a big Beast Hunter.
That's what I mean. I feel like Big Beast Hunter can't even make this deck card work, you know? So that's what. So
quite possibly. Next up, we got Mr. Mukla, 6-mana legendary beast, 10/10 rush. Battlecry, fill your opponent's hand with bananas. 2 King Muklas with rush stapled together.
This is cool, right? Like, I mean, it's a lot of stats.
It is.
And sometimes the bananas are a downside for your opponent's deck. You know,
you do burn their next draw guaranteed.
Yeah, so you just have to find a way to dredge for them, and then you play this. You know, and then but it's I feel I think it's good. Like, you know, you could.
It does seem good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You could do it as top end of a face hunter list if you want. You could do it in the big beast if you're going that route.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Someone dredges and you just play this. Sure. That's so annoying. So I feel like a card like I don't know if this can be good enough to be a 4. Chat, what do you guys think? 4. I'm definitely doing at least a 3, but
yeah, I think 3 seems about right to me. It's a good card, but it's also not exactly a card that is a huge key piece of any particular game plan. Yeah. But Hearthstone's very much about synergies and not about individually good cards.
Yeah, I think I'll give it a 3. But yeah, I think I don't. I mean, this is like if it's a 4, that means it's like the highest drawn win rate in the card in the deck, and every hunter deck loves it. You know, I don't feel like it's gonna be like that. So. Maybe.
Does seem cool though.
What's a card that like? What's a legendary card that's like the highest drawn win rate card in the deck? Like,
Guff?
What? Guff? No,
Guff?
not hero card. Not hero card. Like a minion.
Oh.
Like
Reno, Zephyrus. I don't know.
Like what's the Astalor pre-nerfed was kind of like that, right? So.
Sure. Sure. And yeah, some people did talk about the Belinda combo where you give your opponent a bunch of bananas and then swap the cost of a banana with a big expensive spell in your hand. I don't love the idea of playing a 6-mana card, then another 6-mana card, assuming you only have an expensive spell in your hand.
Sounds complicated. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
But on its own, Mookla's not bad.
Yeah, I agree. 3. So.
Yep. Next up, Banjosaur. 10 mana, 5/6 beast with rush. Whenever this attacks, draw a beast and gain its stats. It will gain those stats before it hits the target.
This would be better if it had charge. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I obviously think they're doing big dreams, but like, how can this be good? Like, I don't even care if I play this. I cheated out. I draw like King Crush, and then I have a 13/14 on turn 7, and then and then my opponent just kills me with their Swarmy board, or they just go Showered Ruin or something.
Yeah, there are 2 ways to get this out: Big Dreams and a Sunken Saber from the Ajaran Saber.
Yeah.
A big problem with the Banjosaur is that it has to draw a minion from your deck, which means you need to play a lot of expensive stuff in your deck and no cheap stuff. That's a beast.
Can't run Canine Tron anymore, right? So.
Nope. I don't love the Banjosaur.
I'm not believing in this whole new age big beast hunter. I like the old style, so I'm gonna go with 1. So I think this is bad.
Sad Banjosaur. And another 10 mana card from Hunter. Stranglethorn Heart, legendary spell. 10 mana tradable. Resurrect all friendly beasts that cost 5 or more.
Like, I feel like if Mountain Bear was still in the game, this card would be insane. But like without Mountain Bear, it's hard. Mountain Bear is kind of the core of like Beast Hunter in general.
There is the neutral Elic.
That 10 mana card?
Yep, okay. The 10 mana 6/10, I believe. Death Rattle, deal 3 to all minions. Enemy minions.
I guess if you cheat that out with the 5 mana spell. I'm going to give this card a 3. Even though it's
a 6/12 taunt. 6/12.
Yeah, because I feel this card is good on like you put this in the top end of a greedy beast hunter. So I think I don't believe in the archetype, but I believe in this card, if that makes sense. So I want to like
the tradable takes the sting out.
Yeah, the trade. Yeah, exactly. So you can run this card, and if it's bad, you trade it. So yeah, I'll give it a 3. So
yeah, I'll go with a 2 simply because it's still 10 mana.
Yeah.
Even if this works, it means the rest of your deck has to work first. This is the last card that works in it, but it can be quite good.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, that's Hunter. We got Big Beast and we got Spell Hunter. Moving on to Mage. Starting off with Synthesize. 1 mana spell. Add a random 1, 2, and 3 cost elemental to your hand.
So the raw value of this card is very good. I mean, compared to other cards, it's more like what deck wants. How good are elementals? Is this like, are there good elementals we want? Like, I'm not sure what deck, but I know in the right meta and this card would be absurd, or the right part of Hearthstone, but it might be really bad now. That's what I'm saying. I'm having a hard time evaluating it. I have to really look at like what are 1, 2, 3 minions in the current pool. So
I can't think of the last time there was a deck that just wanted more stuff like this, as opposed to very specific stuff.
Omega Assembly was really, really good, and that couldn't use that till turn 10. So
yeah, and it was good because of Dr. Boom that gave everything rush. It wasn't even good on its own.
Yeah, well, if there's like some sort of elemental synergy, that might be the same kind of reason. So
yeah, you'd think there might be some of that.
Yeah, so let me just type in elemental in the current. So what are cards you could get? Oh, here's what you do. You high roll Arcane Lunacy, but then I guess your other things are 2 and 1 anyways, but that's one of the 3 cost elementals. There's actually, let me see if there are any other 3 cost elementals. There's Tar Creeper, there's Remake. Some of these are pretty bad.
I'll give you the pool. We got Prismatic Elemental, Submerged Space Rock, Whirlweaver. That's the new one from the mini set that no one will know. That costs 3. And then in our neutral slot, we have Bubbler. We have Emerald Sky Talon. Fantastic. Any Amalgam, so Mistake or Amalgam of the Deep can pop out. Rolling Stone, Ashen Elemental, Reef Walker, Static Waveform, and Tar Creeper, but I believe... Does Tar Creeper rotate? Tar Creeper does not rotate. Yes, the Tar Creeper in the pool.
Yeah.
That seems like a bad pool. There is also that new 1 mana.
Yeah.
The 1 mana elemental that the mage has that gains armor, but you can just play the 1 mana elemental that mage has that gains armor.
So the problem, I think this, like, gaining 3 cards for 1 mana is really good, but the cards suck, so it's probably not good. So
correct.
But let's say a year from now they change the core set and elementals are OP that are one, like, then all of a sudden this could be good. So I'm gonna give it 2 on principle, even though it's realistically probably a 1 right now. So
that's a 1 from me. Next up, Cosmic Keyboard, 2 mana, 0/3 weapon. After you cast a spell, summon an elemental with stats equal to its cost, lose 1 durability. So 2-cost spell gets you a 2/2, 3-cost spell, 3/3, and so on.
I mean, I play this card and I run 80 blizzards and I win the game, right?
Yeah, Blizzard, Firelands, Portal type stuff. But yeah, Blizzard into Blizzard with this is really nutty. Get a 6/6, freeze your board, get another 6/6, freeze your board, kind of like Frostwind's Fury.
Yeah. I'm gonna go, I just feel this is insane. I'm gonna go 4. Like, you could play this, play a 3-cost card, a 4-cost card, a 5-cost card. It's still so efficient, you know?
Yeah. We used to actually spend 8 mana to get this when you played Medivh and you got Atiesh. This is Atiesh.
Yes.
It doesn't summon random minions, it summons stats, but it's the same principle.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. And that card, I mean, it's been a long time. Yeah. Cosmic Keyboard does seem good. I'll go with the 3 on it.
Okay. In before nerfs, right?
Yeah. That's what it is. Although, if you want to make fun of something, next up we got Infinitize the Maxitude. 2 mana legendary spell, discover a spell. Finale. Return this to your hand at the end of the turn.
All right. So I can just run this in any deck that, like, I can just run this card in Aggro Mage, and now I don't run out of stuff ever.
Does Aggro Mage currently run out of stuff?
Yeah. But it actually just kills them, so never mind. Like, all right, you convinced me it's bad. All right, I don't know.
What's really funny about this card, when they previewed it, that video where they show the new legendary card in action, they, on turn 4, pinged a 1/1 Silver Hand recruit, played this, discovered a piece of crap, and that was the video. They didn't even make it look exciting.
All right, if that's that's the only clip they could get. You convinced me. I love infinite value cards. But you're right. I can't play this, look for a card and play it. I mean, I can, but then I used it my last time. So it's like worse than Svalna. All right, it's a 1. Yeah, right, yeah.
I wonder if this didn't even say finale, if that would be a problem. But something to think about. 2 mana for an extra spell.
I think without the finale, it's good enough. Like, it's infinite value
and
it's flexible. So I think the finale matters because you can only play it.
It matters.
You can only play it once per turn, so you can't do it like 4 times and gain 4 cards the way you can with Svalna, you know? So
correct.
So it can't just fill out, like, it's not a great way to fill out your curve. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, seems bad. Seems awful.
Yeah. Okay.
Next up, Rewind. 2 mana arcane spell. Discover a copy of another spell you have cast this game. You know what they're doing with these cards, right?
A copy of another spell you've cast this game. Oh, this is so you can get like 80 Salad Alibis, right? That's what I've heard. I think John reposted it.
That's part of it. You know Light Show?
What's Light Show?
If you don't know, all right, let's do Light Show first, and then we'll return to Rewind in a bit.
I'll remember once I see it. I did look at it. Oh, okay.
Light Show, actually, Light Show is several cards ahead. The one that shoots 2 beams at enemies that deal 2 damage and shoot 1 more for each Light Show you have cast this game.
Yeah, okay.
The 2 beams and 3 and 4 and 5.
I mean, enemies that wait. Does Light Show, do you get the pick? It doesn't say random enemies. It's random. Okay, it's random. Okay. I mean, the first one is bad, but not absurdly terrible. So, I mean, you could use this with your 4-drop. So, I mean, it's gonna be hard to actually make work. But I think like the concept of Rewind, like, I mean, you can torture people with more ice blocks in Wild. So like, I like evaluating cards based off their pure strength. So I'll give it a 3. You know, if the synergies aren't there currently, you know, this card seems good enough. Like, you can abuse something really hard. So
yeah, I'm gonna give it a 2. I think it definitely works in the light show deck. My problem with this is that you're paying a 2 mana premium to get another copy of a spell that you've played, and that's a lot of mana. That's a lot of mana.
yeah.
You can game it to always find the thing you want it to find, but you have to jump through some hoops for rewind. It'll be played probably, but I don't know if it's that good. Also an arcane spell, if that matters, because we do have the Arcane Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Okay.
After rewind, we got Audio Splitter. 3 mana, 4/3 mech. Death Rattle, copy the highest cost spell in your hand.
This feels bad. I don't know.
Well, so if you're a mech deck, you're a mech mage. There is a lot of mech support coming. Both in terms of what's in the core set, what got buffed, and some things in this set. If you only play 2 spells, which are Seafloor, Gateway, and Frozen Touch, if this copies one of those, you're not really unhappy.
Yeah.
And then you can also use it for the Light Show deck if that's what you want. You can copy Light Shows with this, or I don't know.
It's like
Juice up your Ramnath. Yeah.
I think, you know, it's also vulnerable to silence. Death Rattle, and you, like, let's say it doesn't die, and you want it to get like that dead, like, so you can trade get the thing. I don't. I'm just gonna go 1. I just don't believe in it. So
I'll give it a 2. I've seen some applications for this that look a little fringy.
yeah.
Next up, we got Hollow Technician. 3 mana, 3/4. After any minion takes exactly 1 damage, destroy it.
Card seems really good. I know.
Really? I was going to say it seemed really bad. You surprised me.
I could just play this in Shooting Star and clear 3 minions. I don't know.
Yes, you could.
And I'm mage, so I have the ping. So like, you can say with Reckless and no Wildfire. That's yes. Reckless Apprentice not rotating.
It is rotating.
Yeah.
The whole Wildfire thing's done.
I mean, I'll search, like, deal 1 damage, and then, you know.
There's that new 3 mana 1/4 that after you play a spell deals 1 to all enemy minions. Sure.
Oh, there is? Okay, yeah.
You can get Hollow Technician to kill the board.
That's what I want. So I can play my Infinite Blizzards. So I clear the board with Hollow Technician, and then I have my weapon, and then, like, I quit my weapon, and I do all these big spells. I'm gonna give it, like, I compare this also to, like, Voodoo Doll, which I'll play, which was a 1-time use and 1 minion, and that was, like, good. And this is, like, they have to remove this afterwards, and if they're a class that doesn't have an easy ping, it can actually be really awkward. So I'm going 4. So
okay, fine. I'm sticking to my 1. I don't think this card goes anywhere. I look at cards like Professor Slate, 3 mana Hunter Legend that gave your spells poisonous, and that didn't really do very much.
That's true.
I think Mage can always kill stuff if they want to. They have ways already. I don't need to play Shooting Star in my deck and then Hollow Technician. And hell, if you're playing Shooting Star, you can just play something like Silver Moon Arcanist.
Yeah. And
Silver Moon Arcanist has some applications with Light Show as well, which is a weird thing to think about. But
I mean, I play this card, and then Boon Priest becomes a thing of the past. You know, like,
sure, you got him. But Bless already rotates and Radiant rotates, so that problem got solved.
But if it were a 4 mana Boon Priest world, I just could run this card, and then all of a sudden I'd have a meta breaker. Like, that's, you know, so.
All right. Well,
all right.
4-1.
Okay.
All those dice. Next up, we got Light Show. 3 mana Arcane Spell. Shoot 2 beams at enemies that deal 2 damage. Shoot 1 more for each Light Show you have cast this game.
This is so hard to pull off, like, just to get, I mean,
it's like relics.
Yeah. But I have to, like, duplicate the card, so I have to spend 3 mana on this and 2 mana duplicating it.
Yep.
For not even, like, let's say I get 5. It's like a nice payoff, but it's not even that good, you know?
Are you familiar with Ramath? Mage Legendary? 9 mana 5/7 replays every spell that you cast that didn't start in your deck this game.
Yeah, like,
you get some extra copies of Light Show, he turns into Jace and the opponent dies.
Just 9 mana. Where's this world? Vexilus already stunk. I don't know, from, with Romant? I don't know.
So let's go with duplication possibilities here.
Mm-hmm.
We got the rewind, obviously. We got Ramath that can recast them. We've got volume up, which we'll see shortly, that can discover an extra copy of a spell that you draw. We have audio splitter, and we got the rewind. And then the real question is if you can get this maybe with some spell damage, maybe with Ramath, maybe Vexilus.
It's just too expensive. Like how I don't know. I'm gonna go with 1. I don't believe it. Like I think it sucks.
All right, I'm gonna go with a 3. I think there might actually be an entire deck here based around Light Show. Might be good enough to build around, but we'll see. Next up, Keyboard Soloist. 4 mana 2/4 Naga. Battlecry if you control no other minions. Summon 2 1/2 amps with spell damage +1.
This card seems really good. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I mean, you could just use it as tempo, and then you can use it as, like... I guess you want to run this deck in, like, Aggro Mage, but it sucks in Aggro Mage because you already have minions on the board, so maybe it isn't actually good.
Correct.
Yeah.
It does seem a bit like a very weak Egwin. Very conditional
I guess
Egwin.
If it was like... Okay, I think I was thinking it was like summon 1/2 amps and they get spell damage if you have no minions.
Nope.
But it's... Yeah, okay, I changed my mind.
I do not like these soloist cards. I'm still on 1 on this.
I mean, you have to just like imagine you have minions on board and you can't get this effect for your lethal because your opponent just doesn't kill off your minion. That's so annoying. Okay, all right. I originally thought this was good, but I'm gonna go with 1. It's just like I know what you mean. The solo element matters, so.
And it's not like Egwin where you can play it dies, and it just comes back later. You have to do it this turn.
Yeah.
I'll just do Silver Moon Arcanist if I want that.
Okay.
Next up, we got Volume Up. 4 mana arcane spell, draw 3 spells. Finale, discover a copy of one of them.
That seems really good. Just very efficient.
It does seem very good.
Yeah.
And it's good for like tons of different mage archetypes. It's good for aggressive decks if you want to burn someone down. Just draw like arcane missiles and frozen touches and kill them that way. If you want to copy stuff from Millhouse and draw some specific expensive spells for your keyboard, you can do that too. If you want to copy light shows, you can do that too. This seems good.
Yeah, I'll give it 4.
Yeah, 4 seems good.
It just, in a world where Arcane Intellect sees play, this card is broken, right? So, anyways.
That's very good, yes. And also it's a tutor, so you can gain that.
That too, yeah.
Yep. And next up, finally, we got DJ Manastorm. 10 mana, 8/8 legendary. Battlecry, set the cost of spells in your hand to 0. After you cast 1, the others cost 1 more.
So you kind of like your spells just keep increasing, right? So I mean, and you have to
0,
play this,
1, 2,
and you
3.
can't. So you can only play 1 spell
On the turn you play it.
Yeah, and then okay. So if you have like 80 like if you run 4 Pyroblasts in your deck, you duplicated all your Pyroblasts and you play this, and then you
can also get them out with Bone Lord Frost Whisperer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Bone Lord sets DJ to 0.
You Bone Lord, you do DJ. Okay. Ooh.
And you can tutor with Talon. That's still in the core set.
Okay.
Yeah. I think DJ Manastorm can actually maybe kill people.
It's like, how do 10 mana cards have to like win the game? I don't know.
Sure, but what if there's 0 mana cards?
Wait, because you're the Bone Lord Whisperer? That's what you're going for?
Maybe.
You have to get to draw the Bone Lord Whisperer and this. And have all these giant spells to play. Oh,
you'll find the spells. You got Volume Up.
Yeah.
You play Blizzard, Firelands Portal, Pyroblast, and Volume Up. And you got your keyboard, so you can tutor out your Blizzards, then you can Blizzard the board, make 6/6s, and then Firelands Portal them, and if that doesn't kill them, then you can DJ them in late game for Pyroblasts.
Yeah, just not, I'm going 1. I don't believe it, so.
I'll give him a rousing 2.
Okay.
Might be a card for a bad deck. Alright, Paladin. Starting out with Disco Mall. 2 mana, 2/2, Death Rattle. Give a random friendly minion +1/+1. Play minions while equipped to improve. Play, not summon.
Yeah. One of the things I was thinking about this is like these cards can be good because you can give a minion charge. Because you know, but when you play minions on the same turn, then you can't. So it's a thing of like, let's say in theory, like I play this, I hit, and I have a minion on board, and then I play 2 minions the next turn, and I hit, and I give the minion I already have on board +3/+3 and go face. That's really good. But if it hits the wrong minion because I had to play them, like I can't. I want to spend all my mana playing minions to get this buff, but it seems like it just doesn't seem. I feel it doesn't seem that good. That's what I'm thinking. So
I'm in a very weird spot with this card. As a standalone card, it seems alright. I have a couple problems. First is that I think it's slow, or something like a mech deck or a very I'm going to kill you fast paladin. I think we can make those decks. It doesn't fit in the big paladin at all because you don't play minions. But I think the most important part with this is that Muster for Battle is in the core set. And I want to play Muster for Battle on 3, kind of a lot. And Disco Mall and Muster for Battle do not party together.
Yeah. So they have old drama. So
it's a reasonable card. It takes a little bit of time to get going. It's not. I don't think it's broken by any means. I think it's solid. But
these 2-mana weapons, even when they like seem good, are just sometimes bare. Like the 2-mana shaman weapon seems really efficient, and it's just barely like marginal. The Battlecry one, this seems worse than that.
The Battlecry shaman weapon. Which one's this?
The hammer that when you hit something, you discount a Battlecry minion in your hand by 1.
Yeah, Auction House Gavel.
Yeah, Auction House Gavel. This seems worse than that. I like giving things ones. It's more fun. I'm gonna give it a 1. I think it's bad. So
I'm gonna join you on that. I'll take a spicy rating on this. A lot of people hype this card up. I'm gonna say I don't think it fits in a deck. I think it's a problem.
Yeah.
After Disco Mall, we got Spotlight. 2 mana Holy Spell with tradable. Convert a friendly Divine Shield into a 5/5 elemental. Can pull one off of your face if you got one.
So the raw efficiency of this card seems good, but it's like there are going to be so many spots where you just can't get it down, and you do lose the Divine Shield. So
you do.
And you can't just like play it as a 2/3, if it doesn't work. So it's a 4 because
it does have tradable, which helps.
Yeah, you have to play 2 cards to make. I don't know. I know everyone thinks this is insane. My instincts are not. I don't know, but I guess let me try to think of like.
My instinct is it's playable. Because you got, if you want to talk about 1-drops, you got Click Clocker, you got Righteous Protector, and you got Sanguine Soldier. The 2/1.
Yeah.
And your odds that one of those is going to stick around the Divine Shield, well, they don't necessarily. If they go first, pretty high odds. If you go second, you can always just coin this on the turn you play them, if you want to do that.
Yeah.
A 5/5 is big for 2.
I agree with you. Rex says because people are going to know this card's in a deck if it is, and then they're going to be like either a deck that can handle the 5/5, or they're going to ping it off. They're going to be very ambitious about getting rid of Divine Shields. So then you have to do it on 2 turns. So it's like becomes a, you play it with a 1/1 Divine Shield and this. It's a 3 mana. It's a combo, and it's like that's still like that's good stats, but you have the right cards. What happens to you? Don't draw Divine Shields. But it does seem like Divine Shield is the flavor of Paladin, so maybe they run it just because, like even like you said, the hero card, that seems really good when you just give it on your hero. That's so, right. So
this seems like it's playable. I don't think it's insane, but it seems playable.
I think losing your Divine Shield is valuable, but I could see it seeing fringe play, so I'm gonna give it a 2. So
2 is about where I'm at.
I think people are overvaluing this though. So.
It's very big for what it's worth. Yeah. It is big. After Spotlight, we got Boogie Down. 3 mana Holy Spell. Summon 2 1-cost minions from your deck. Finale, give them Taunt.
So I'm not sure. Let's see if Paladin has any really good ones for cost spells, or one cost minions. Sorry, that like so you could run that 2/1. If you weren't pure, which most lists seem to be pure these days.
You can run Helmet Hermit. Fantastic stuff. The 1 mana 4/3 that can't attack.
Yeah, yeah.
There.
And then you give it taunt. I mean, so you can play a boar deck, and then all of a sudden this always draws your boars, which I don't know if that's useful. But like the tutoring element, like you could run Pelican Divers. Wait, that's I don't know. I'm trying to think of like what. I don't know. I mean, it's thinning out your deck. I could definitely see this being useful in the right deck. I just don't know what the right deck is, but I know it's like in the right deck, it's a good card. So I don't know if it's right in Paladin.
I have no idea what the right deck is.
If the right 1-drops, it's like in the meta, it could be a good deck. So.
Call to Arms was busted, and this card is not close to Call to Arms. You get 1-drops instead of 2-drops. You get 2 of them instead of 3 of them. And 1-drops are not really that spooky. There aren't like 2/6 taunt.
It's so much worse than Call to Arms.
It's so much worse.
And it's been 4 years. The Call to Arms is what unsold me. Okay. Yeah.
This is balanced Call to Arms, or maybe just bad Call to Arms. It's a 1 from me.
Yeah, the Call to Arms made me come to my senses. Okay, I'll go 1. So I was. Yeah.
No. Understandable. After Boogie Down, we got Funkfin. 3 mana 2/2 Murloc with Divine Shield. Your minions with Divine Shield have +2 attack, including himself.
It seems good. It seems very annoying.
I thought it was at first too, until I realized that when the Funkfin loses Divine Shield, it's a 2/2, not a 4/2.
Yeah, the first time, and then so. I mean, this seems a lot easier to pull off in an awkward situation than Spotlight. Like, I'd rather just give so. I guess your minions they trade, but
how many minions with Divine Shield do you want to have before you consider playing Funkfin good?
Like 1.
Like if you have 1 Divine Shield minion on board, is Funkfin good compared to say Mooncatcher? Yeah,
because you play it and then you value trade. So,
so you gave your minion.
I'll give it a 2.
That's
I'm not. I think it's good. And I see it sees playing the tempo Divine Shield deck, which seems like that's what they're trying to make. So
I'm going fat 1 on this.
Okay.
I think Mooncatcher is actually better. And for Divine Shield buffs, I don't think I'm ever going to be buffing more than maybe 1 minion with this. I think it's a very fancy raid leader.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Next up, we got Starlight Groove. 3 mana legendary holy spell. Give your hero Divine Shield. For the rest of the game, playing a holy spell refreshes it.
Like, this card is weird because it's hard for I don't know if Paladin has the value generation, but to make this card really good and card draw. But I feel like in theory this card's really good, right? So I mean. Just in even the first Divine Shield is not terrible, but turning all your holy spells, that seems really annoying. I don't know.
I'm seeing this in the big Paladin deck, the Cube Paladin deck.
Okay.
Where you're not really playing early game minions. You do have a ton of holy spells, and this is going to mitigate a bunch of damage hypothetically throughout the game.
Yeah.
But it might mitigate almost none. It might mitigate a ton of it. Really depends. Depends on the deck you're up against in a lot of situations. I think it's good, but I don't think it's nuts.
Yeah, I'll give it a 3. I don't know. It's such a hard. I'm trying to think of you just keep playing holy spells and you keep getting annoying in your opponent. Maybe I don't know. It's
every turn the game goes on, it just heals you more basically.
Yeah, and that's not it's hard to. I feel like they've given such good value cards that the tempo stuff, but it's I don't know. So
I'm gonna go with a 2 on it. I think.
I think it's
playable.
cool, so I want to give it a 3. So yeah.
Sure, understandable.
Okay.
After Starlight Groove, we have Jitterbug. 4 mana 4/3 beast with Divine Shield. After a friendly character loses Divine Shield, draw a card.
This is like my favorite one so far. Like I think this is really good. Like Paladin struggles with card draw. It's a draw 1. It's annoying as a 4. Like the stats is annoying on this. It seems really good.
Do you remember Cult Master?
Yeah.
4 mana 4/2 after a friendly minion dies.
This is 1 more health and Divine Shield, and you play it by itself, and it draws you a card.
Yeah, if it doesn't get hard removed, it'll draw you a card, sure. Only draws off Divine Shields, which is a little bit more conditional.
I mean, yeah, but the Cult Master also was like sometimes so good, like it is so much more polarized of a card. Where this is is very depolarized, where it's probably the absolute high roll isn't as good, but the low roll is so much better.
This card is so slow. It is so slow.
Paladin has.
If I'm an aggressive Paladin deck.
Yeah.
I have Divine Shields. I'm not trading those.
Well, I could just slap this on board, and then I have my Righteous Protector in the way, and then you're in an awkward situation. And I think you live in the rogue world where you could draw so many cards for so efficiently, where Paladin's card draw is garbage. Like having this card is way more valuable in Paladin than it is in rogue. So I think it's a 4. I think it's real good.
Oh, I'm gonna give it a 1.
All right.
I think this goes nowhere.
All right.
After Jitterbug, we have Harmonic Disco. 5 mana Holy Spell. Discover a 5-cost minion, summon it with +1/+1. Or it swaps to discover a 1-cost minion and give it +5/+5.
This is Fat 1 filler.
I think we could basically skip this.
I mean, this could be 4 cost, and 4 mana. I think it's bad still. So, anyways.
Yeah. Yep, sounds about right. After Harmonic Disco, we have Kangor, Dancing King. 5 mana 3/3 legendary with Lifesteal. Death Rattle, swap this with a minion in your hand and give that minion Lifesteal.
Seems really annoying. Like I don't know what the build of this. Like you go all in on big minions. Do you just play off your you can play out your low minions and then play it on 3, but you don't have to be pure big to make this work. Seems and I feel like this card's really annoying.
Yep, the card that I would generally compare this to in the archetype is maybe Skull of the Minari.
Yeah,
it's that's kind of the new version of Skull I seem to be making. They tried to remake Cube Warlock in Paladin, and this is one of those cards.
I'll just give it a 3. I think that's cool enough. Like this could be deck enabling, but it doesn't seem like so easy to make work. But it seems good enough to
I got the deck built. Kangor is an easy 4 for me.
Okay.
Especially because it works well with our next card. 6 mana Lead Dancer. 6 mana 4/2 Death Rattle. Summon a minion from your deck with less attack than this minion.
Yeah. So it pulls
Kangor has less attack than that minion.
Yeah.
And the new Anoyo Lord has less attack than this minion. Summons your new Void Lord.
Yeah, so it's pretty good.
It is.
Pretty good. So I'll give this another 3. So
yeah. After Lead Dancer, there's the big one itself, Anoyo Troop. 9 mana 3/6 mech with Taunt, Divine Shield, and Death Rattle. Summon 3 Anoyotrons.
I want to give this a 4.
I will also give this a 4. Well, it's not just that this gets played with Kangor from your hand. It's not just that Lead Dancer pulls this out. You can also Blood Crusader this. On turn 5/6, if you have the coin, you can play your 5/5 and then spend 9 life and drop this thing into play.
Oh yeah, that's so annoying. And then you go the 4-drop and get the Divine Shield after, and then draw a million cards. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So
draw your cards after your Void Lord, and you'll be good.
I'll give it a 4. So all right.
Yeah. Once this comes down, the opponent never touches your face, ever, unless they have silence. But then they're priest. All right. So after Anoyo Troop, moving on to Priest. Speaking of. Fan Club, 1 mana, choose charge location, restore 3 health to all friendly characters.
When I compare this card to any other card in the priest category, this card's absurd. How efficient it is. It does all characters. You can bank mana. It's heal 6 on your own face. Like I think even though this card is just I can use it to heal my whole board. I can do a bunch of value trades and have the mana to heal it. Yeah, I think it's just a 4. So
I'm gonna go with 3. It's definitely a good card. It's definitely efficient, but Priest is so weird right now because they have this whole overheal thing going on, and I'm trying to assess it, and it's real hard.
And you know, this card, who knows? Priest could be garbage, but it's a thing of this card is, I think, really, really good. So that's what I'm evaluating cards independent of whether the deck works or not. Like if the deck works, it's this card that puts that on the map. Like because now you can overheal, you can just heal all your minions. So if you have if we're in a meta that like board states are hard to finish off, you know, I can play this and I can run self-damaging minions. That is like, so I could play this on 1 and go Injured Tolver on 2, which is not like very good a card anymore, but it used to be good. So there's just lots of ways I can get value out of this card. You know,
it does seem pretty good. Also, I'm going to be back in like 15 seconds. So I'm just going to run to the bathroom.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, okay, let me get some more. Let me heat up more tea. Right.
All right, and we're back. He went somewhere, didn't he? All right. He went to get tea? Yeah, that makes sense. Ooh. This overheal deck. I really tried to make that thing. I am extremely unconvinced it ever kills anybody. It's so weird. Which class looks the worst so far to me? From what we have reviewed? On average, probably Demon Hunter, but it's not really a matter of averages because I think Demon Hunter is one of the best classes. It's just that I think Demon Hunter has a lot of suboptimal cards. Are you back? We're good?
Yeah, I'm back.
Alright, nice. Alright, so moving on then from Fan Club. Next card, Idol's Adoration. 1 mana, 0/2 weapon. Your hero power costs 0. After you use it, the weapon loses 1 durability.
Like this seems bad in like regular Priest, but because Shadow Priest is a deck, I feel this is really good in Shadow Priest.
Yep, that's pretty much the application I was eyeing for it too.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is better or worse than Tour Guide. But
Tour Guide seems better, but this seems...
Maybe you play both? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the raw efficiency, if you plan it out, is 1 mana, deal 4. But, you know, like that doesn't count for the fact that you use your hero power to fill in your curve.
Yep.
So, but I'll give it a 2. I think so.
A 2 is about where I'm at. And you also have for the overheal archetype, if that's a thing you're doing, but I severely doubt you are.
Priest hero power is normally like so inefficient, so it's like unless you're hero powering to get out of range, like I just would much rather. I mean, compare the healing ability to this to like Fan Club. It's like night and day, you know. So yeah.
Fan Club, you play them together in the overheal deck, but I don't know.
I don't think I would ever run idols in an overheal deck. I know I can heal something. I just don't think.
Yeah, it's quite possible you don't.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. After Idol's Adoration, we got Dreamboat. 2-mana 1/2 Naga. Battlecry, restore 3 health to all other friendly minions. Gain +1/+1 for each one overhealed.
So, I mean, this card, when you are winning board, is insane, but like it's so hard to win board as Priest. So that's what's tough about it. But like, you know, if you have 3 minions on the board and you play this card's like insanely good. It could heal the minions. It could heal and overheal. So it's like...
Is this a Shadow Priest minion?
Yeah, you could run it in Shadow Priest. Like that might be the thing, because it's like you sometimes want to heal your stuff, but you can't run holy cards, right? So
you gotta the thing is, you gotta hit 2 minions for this to really be good. 2 minions, you have a 3/4 for 2. That's acceptable.
And you also, you know, if you are head on board, so like I could see Ear Lake Priest loving this deck. I don't know if you've seen Ear Lake Priest on the letter. Like it's so. I think this card in raw power level is really good. It's just hard to like make this work in the Priest archetype in general, which is probably why they print it. But because Priest is a hard time getting proactive on board.
They're trying to make it with overheal. They're trying.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a 3, even though I think the raw power level is good. So
I'll go with a 1 just because I'm a 0% believer in the archetype right now.
Okay. All right.
After Dreamboat, we got Power Chord Synchronize. 2-mana holy spell, choose a minion. Add a copy of it to your hand. Finale, give both +1/+2.
I mean, this is Seance, but could be better. So Seance's play, but Seance is not that good, but it's 2 or 3. I'm not sure.
I would just go with a 2 because Seance was always fringy, and this is going to be always fringy.
Yeah, I mean so I'll go 2. Seance I'll play.
I mean, you can play a 1-drop and then turn to buff the 1-drop on board and get another copy of it if that's a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever. I can't think beyond it's okay.
Okay.
Priest is so weird for me. Next up, speaking of weird things, Heartthrob. 3-mana 2/5 undead. Overheal. Summon a random minion with cost equal to the amount overhealed. So if you point a flash heal at this and the turn you play it, you get a random 5-drop.
How does this work with, like, if I do a heal that heals more than 1 minion? Is it like, if I heal 2 minions with, like, location? With that,
so overheal in this context applies specifically to just the Heartthrob. When the Heartthrob is overhealed, you summon a minion with random cost equal to the amount overhealed on this minion.
Oh, I thought it was like minions in general. So I thought this was a 4.
That would make this better.
Yeah, okay. It's still is like, you know, you play this on 1 and then you get a 2, 3. Like, I'll give it a 3. I still think it's a really good card, but not nearly as good as I thought. So,
if there is an overheal thing, this is like the best overheal minion I can think of. But I do not believe in this at all. I'm giving it a 2.
Okay.
The card, I believe you're right on a 3, but I have to read it in context, and in my brain, I hate this.
Imagine if overheal gets more synergy, and then, you know, this card is busted. Like, that's kind of what I'm thinking. You know,
I'll look stupid in 8 months.
If I have a bunch of heals, I can just play this heal and make a board. You know, so Anyways.
All right. Weird card. Very weird. Next up, this is at least not confusing. Love Everlasting. 3-mana legendary holy spell. Your first spell each turn costs 2 less. Lasts until you don't play a spell on your turn.
This card's hard to evaluate for me. Like, if you get Svalna down, that's the obvious thing. It's like really, really good, right? But you know, you can use it with Thrive in the Shadows, And then, so if you have Thrive, Thrive still sticking around? I can't remember.
It is.
So then you can use that to draw, and like, so, I mean, the raw, you can't get the card this turn, so you can't, but, so it's slow. So I don't know. You could put this in ETC, right? As Shadow Priest. That would be interesting.
I'm just going to give it a 4 and move on with that. And basically, I say this is a 3-mana overgrowth in some situations. That's how I think about it.
Yeah.
You play your AoEs earlier. You play your removals earlier. Discover spells earlier.
I didn't think about that. I can play this and then go Light Bomb for 4. Okay, I'm at 4.
Yep,
yeah. So I forgot
everything
about the
just
fact
happens
that
faster.
I was thinking, I forgot about the fact that you can curve out faster on a big card. Okay, that's a 4. Yeah, that's really good. Okay.
That's so good.
Yeah, because like that actually, okay, yeah.
It's mana. It's just mana for everything. Next up, we got Shadow Chord Distort, 3-mana shadow spell. Give a minion -5/-5. If it has 0 attack, destroy it.
Like in a world where Light That Burns exists, like why am I running this card? You know,
because you're a Renethal removal pile. That's the only explanation I got.
Yeah, I'm going with 1. So
I'll give it a 2. It's not that great of a card. It's okay, but if you want to play 40 cards and nothing but removal, you can actually kind of sort of do that. And then you just want more removal.
Yeah.
I don't even know if this card makes the cut.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah,
Next up, Fight Over Me. 4-mana shadow spell. Choose 2 enemy minions. They fight, which means one bumps into the other. Add copies of any that die to your hand.
Seems bad. Do they keep fighting, or do they just hit each other once?
Nope, just once. If they kept fighting until they died, then they'd probably both kill each other, and this would always work.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 1. It seems atrociously bad.
I will go with a 2 because I'm betting Renethal removal pile priest will play more removal pile stuff.
Renethal removal pile priest has had to cut certain removal cards for other removal cards like cannibalize. It can't even run 2 cannibalizes, so it's like.
I'm not sure if you've looked at the list of priest removal spells, AoE single targets. They have a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
So, but they also have to do proactive things because you can't just be 30 cards and no win condition. So, like, yeah. I mean,
they got Dirty Rat now, too.
Yeah, anyways.
Helps you be no win condition.
I mean, and this is just still, like, not an efficient board removal card, so, anyways.
Yeah, might be, might not be. But next up, we got Heartbreaker Hedonus. 4-mana 4/8, Battlecry, deal 4 damage to this minion. So it comes in as a 4/4. Overheal it, deal 5 damage to a random enemy.
This is a really hard one for me to evaluate. I think damage cards like this sometimes, but it's like, I mean, the powerful thing is you play like locations, you do a bunch of setup, and you could do a finisher for this, you know?
Yeah.
So like
you play this with a location and your Idol's Adoration on board, and then you flash heal this and you deal 5, and then location and you deal 5, and hero power and you deal 5.
Yeah.
Not a good ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, also I'm trying to think of like, there's not any, because it doesn't have a tribe, there's no good way to revive it. Like, you could, if in a world of Psycho Pump, this would be really, really good. I feel like, I don't know. I emotionally want to believe in this card, so I'm gonna put 3. Like, I feel like I could run it into some control priest list, and then when I'm having trouble feeling here, like finishing my opponent, maybe I can pull some shenanigans off. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because Priest has a hard time killing decks, so I don't know. But also, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 3. I want to believe. It's probably 1, but yeah.
I'll give it the 1 for you.
Okay.
I'd like to believe too, but I'm not ready to get my heart broken again.
Yeah.
Next up, Harmonic Pop. 6-mana holy spell. Deal 3 damage to all minions. Summon a 6/6 pop star. Swaps each turn to deal 6 and summon a 3/3 pop star.
Okay. Yeah, it seems good. So.
Doesn't it?
Okay, I think I'm just not quite ready to give it a 4, but I'll give it a 3. Seems good enough.
Yeah.
I want to run this.
This is our new Zarella, basically, kind of. Sort of.
Zarella is better, but Zarella requires 2 cards, so this requires 1. So yeah.
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 All right. So I
Zerello's
believe we're moving
absolutely
on.
busted. So it's like, yeah.